Oh my God. Great session with Dan Fraga. I loved it. I'm inspired. Now I want to draw. That's what's up right now. I want to draw. So I am trying to get myself together for some penciling action. Yes. You can't help it. When you hang out with people that know what they're talking about, that's when it gets super exciting. So yeah, I'm working in Photoshop right now. I don't know if this helps at all. I just ordered a new tripod, so this hand holding stuff is gonna have to stop. What's up, man? Yeah, so I'm a little tired. I've been drinking coffee, staying up late lately, trying to get some stuff done, and I'm bushed. But suffice it to say that I can't help it. I can't help it, man. What's up, Toyatic? I can't help it, dog. I gotta draw. I'm tired as hell, but I gotta draw. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. The whole first published work stuff. It was Team No Steel. That's true. Working on a Intuos Pro. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. Yeah, so to be honest with you, I can't draw. I'm totally like, I'm feeling totally not right now. So I've been having trouble since I went over to Yosemite. I hate Yosemite. I hate Apple right now. I'm not getting happy about anything that they're doing over there right now until they clean up my stuff. My scanner don't work no more the way it used to. I gotta keep clicking off of Photoshop to change my tools. I can't use my quick keys like I used to. I can use them, but for a little bit. Yeah, I'm whining. All right, I'm gonna go to. I bought some brushes from Friendin. I guess he goes by Friendin, and I'm gonna utilize some of that. I like his 2B pencil brush. I like it. See how it has that little. It's actually a point, but what's weird about this is that it wears out like a real pencil lead, so I have to keep clicking on the tool to sharpen it. Isn't that funny? It's cool, I guess, but really annoying sometimes. But anyway, let's see. All right, I want to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I want to just get some lines going. Oh yeah, I can't do what Dan does. Dan is diseased. I can't do that. That's awesome, man. Come down. I'll be or come up. I'll be there. A10 next week. TampaCon. Oh, I've been using fitness brushes for Mango Studio. Yeah, I have them for Mango Studio too. I was just playing around in there in Mango Studio. I don't know if I care about that application as much as I thought I did. Maybe I just prefer the older one. I think I like the old Mango Studio 4 better. The new one, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just a little sad. All right, so I'm just starting off with a typical brow. As you guys know, I draw the head shape a lot. So I'm going to kind of just get in there and carve out this guy's brow and get the little eyelid. And I'm going to... What is Manga Studio? Google. Check it out. Words cannot express. It's a good program. It's designed for comicers and illustrators of that sort of work. I want to use it more. Unfortunately, I don't have a laptop that I can work on, so I can't use them remotely. So I stick with Photoshop because I can use that anywhere, wherever my workstations are, whether I'm at the office or here at home. I don't do any of this work at the office, but every once in a while I might have to tweak something for a client. And I can do it real quick, but Manga Studio is not native to my work environment. It's lean, very quick. Yeah, I would say that. But it's still it's almost like, well, I feel like it's a little bit of a I feel about the way I kind of feel about Painter. Although Painter is like completely obnoxiously difficult to work in for me. I don't know. I'm not a ultra traditional artist, so I don't know what all the mediums are, and I just kind of like to draw on paper. But Photoshop allows me the uh, the room and the editing power that I need to just draw what I want to draw and keep it rolling. Um, yeah, but I do like Manga Studio. I like it, just don't know how to use it well yet. All right. So I'm tired enough that I might misspeak, or I might actually start to slur a little bit here. Luther? It could be. It could be. Let's see. I'm gonna shape his head a little better than that, though. Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, unfortunately, you guys are getting those weird. Well, I think you are those weird lines from my monitor. Don't know how to fix that. Sorry. So you see how the pencil is getting more and more. You can kind of see it there. It's not as sharp as it was. And watch this. I click on 2B pencil and bing. It's like I sharpened it. That was from the mushroom I ate. Psychedelic. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Yeah, this is not the best thing to do with digital stuff, I hear, because you can never get the right scenario. Luther, Lex. What do you guys think about Lex Luthor in that movie trailer? Is that the one everybody wants? Or is that the one that we deserve? I don't know. Okay, here we go. Cautiously optimistic. I've lost my optimism. I just draw stuff now. The way I remember it. Hold on now. I'm a big Bruce Timm fan, so I like my Lex Luthor very patterned after that character. Hey, what's up? Taskan. I don't know who. That's a cool name. Sounds tribal. You're welcome, man. I'm not crazy about this drawing at all, actually, but I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna follow it through. I'm gonna morph him into what I want him to be. So maybe he was Luthor, but now he's changing because I'm tired, and it's my prerogative. Oh God, I was just talking about how fashions are coming back and forth, and '90s stuff is back. People rocking Bobby Brown fades. What pen am I using? Did I download it? I'm using the one that I got from Friendon. You can just type in FRENDON, I believe, or maybe it's EN. My eggs boiled and hard boiled. Yeah. Frank Castle, maybe. Maybe. Hey, the Prince left from the Batman piece you did. I am going to have some for TampaCon. I don't have any right now. If you're interested in that one. Yeah, can do this. This could be certainly be a Frank Castle. I always like my Frank, like a broken nose type of stuff. You're out in Toronto. Oof. Man, I just had an experience shipping out something to Australia. Yikes. That's a tricky one. Alright, let's see here. This eye is terrible. I told you I like to do two. I'll erase. I prefer to see my stuff early on. Oh, this is too large. Too large still. I prefer my eyes to be like the old classic statues, like David or whatever, the Michelangelo statues. They don't have any eyes. Oops. See? That's what happens. Wasn't paying attention. I'm gonna switch over to the one I usually use. The pen, the brush I usually use is just the basic thick and thin brush. That's my workhorse in Photoshop. The trick that I do is I keep my Well, let me show you. I keep my pen tip on close to firm, not on firm because that's too much. You can see it there. But I keep it as close to firm as possible, right around here on the second notch, and that gives me a little bit of control over my thicks and thins in the digital environment. So I can do this kind of thing, flick it. It just works really good. I also, when I'm drawing and when using that brush, I don't like it to be 100%. Like right now, you can kind of see it's 100%. So I reduce my opacity of the brush to about 20. And that gives me a good enough depiction of a pencil, unless I'm using a specific brush that has that pencil texture to it. Do I have a drawing pad? What do you mean by a drawing pad? What do you mean? I'm with you. Talk to me. The brush setting. Is transfer mode turned on in the brush setting? That's an interesting question. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Hold up. I don't see it here. Yes, I'm using a Wacom Intuos Pro. Transfer. I do not have transfer. Is that supposed to help me out? I have used a Cintiq. I had one. Yeah, I'm not liking this one too much. I don't like that transfer setting thing too much. Let me see. Let's see what it did. Yeah, I kind of like the way it is. Yeah, nah. I don't like. I guess that could be useful. I suppose. I don't mean to be so harsh. I guess that could be useful. But the idea is just to keep it, just to give myself enough of a, you know, that the opacity difference, so I can just do it. So I guess you're saying if I go back to 100% and I put transfer on, I don't know. I'm not getting the opacity strength. Oh wait, what? Hold on. I didn't have it on black anyway. I'm not sure this is a. Well, that's interesting. So yeah, it kind of does give me a nice little. Let me try that again. Going to have a million questions for you in person next time. Really? Like what? Like what? Like what? Ask me now. Yes. Anyway, the other reason why I like to have it with the opacity low is that I can build. This is especially good. Oh, you're asking? I'm sorry. What are you asking? I thought digital line quality had an interesting look to it. Yeah. I mean, I have a particular technique that I use when I throw or pull a line. That is, it's just kind of a trial and error thing. I don't know if I can even explain it. Watch. Okay. Sorry, Tony. Sorry. But if you do want to ask it, if I didn't answer, you can always just repost it. See, I don't like this right now. I'm getting too dark, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. I think I'm going to turn off transfers. The transfer. I like the idea of it. Get back to my 20%, 23% or so. Reason why is I like to be able. I want to build it. When I paint digitally, I use this brush a lot. Let me see if I can get it to work here. I use this one. This guy right here, and I like it because it gives me that kind of cool. Well, now it's not working as well, probably because of transfer. Let me see. No, that's definitely not the problem. Hold up, I'm reducing my stuff again to a low percentage. For me, and I'm probably not very efficient. I like to build my values. So yeah, this is terrible. Yikes! You know what it is? I know what it is. It's in here. I gotta fix this. Anyway, I don't know where it's at anymore. All right, well, I'm not going to mess with it right now. But anyway, there it goes. There it goes. It's a little more like a butter. I call it my butter stick. And I like to just build these tones. Then I'll eyedrop, which of course I would use my quick key, but I have my phone in my hand. And I go back and I just start to build those tones. So if I was painting this here, I would start with soft tones, build up, and find my shadows and define my highlights. And then I move forward. So that kind of thing. This is garbage right here. But anyway, just kind of getting a feel. I like to build. So it's almost like I use my painting as my color palette. And I just keep building and building and building. Anyway. Let's see. Back to my other brush. Pink. No, that's too low, I guess. Because I'm using the wrong color. Here we go. So I kind of, again, this is just me playing with my line quality. I'm trying to get a different feel. And yeah, anyway, well, it looks like I'm tired enough that I can't keep drawing tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I am really bushed. Do you find this method of drawing better than drawing on paper? I think I certainly wouldn't say that. I think every system has its pros and its cons. I think that the digital tool provides for me a level of editing that I need for certain work. So if I'm working on a fast turnaround project, I prefer to use digital tools, only because I'm also a perfectionist, and I spend a lot of time noodling and forcing stuff to look a certain way. And when I'm working digitally, I can edit and change things quickly, whereas if I have to keep erasing things, that's very time consuming to me. So I try to stay away from it. Who are my influences? John Buscema was certainly one of the biggest influences, along with Jack Kirby. I would say guys like Joe Madureira have a huge part in my current mindset. Eric Canetti's a big deal to me. Let's see. Bruce Timm, Jamie Hewitt. Have you guys ever heard of a couple of fellas called Creature Box? That's some stuff right there. Those are my boys. Yeah, they're pretty great. All right. So, all right. That's kind of cool. I'm going to give this mouth a little more of an edge. So look in your studio. My studio? You mean through here or through Instagram? Mad Unique. Thanks, guys. Man, that's really cool, man. I appreciate that. I always struggle. Well, not as much anymore, but I used to struggle a lot. Oh, did it? Well, appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for always supporting me and following me and encouraging me. You're in that struggle phase. You're trying to find your voice. You know what, man? I tell you, the best thing to do is to just do you, right? Just examine where you are, where you want to be. The most important thing is to determine, is your work saleable? If you're interested in doing anything beyond hobby drawing, you got to decide how to get past that first hump of your own ego, and are you able to be humble enough to listen to an editor or anyone, our director, tell you, hey, this needs to be adjusted. That's very tricky. Many people can't do it. So because they spend so much of their time convincing themselves they're great. And I'm a big fan of these shows, these movies where they encourage people to do things, and there's these feel-good stories. I love them, but I got to be honest with you. In the real world, not everybody. You have to be ultra talented for people to just pick you up off the street. So that means that the rest of the time you have to work hard, and that's where I've been. I've had to work hard, and so what I'm learning along the way is like, really what I need to do is just keep. I need to just keep practicing whatever it is I want to practice. Keep adjusting, keep moving. My style's changed over the years, like at least a dozen times. But I'm not sure it was really a style thing. I think I was learning. I was learning from different people. I was allowing myself to learn. I wasn't so bold. I wasn't trying to be so cool that it couldn't be anything but learn. Some people are just too proud to beg. I'm not. I want to ask the questions. How was it working on Harley Quinn and Power Girl? It was great. It was great. A lot of fun. A lot of new experiences, new drawing experiences, and deadline was interesting. But overall, very rewarding. Very, very rewarding. It's probably for me, the coolest thing was to see the work printed. That was probably the coolest thing. Being that I've been reading and following comics since I was, as I could read, or see, frankly. It was just really cool to see my stuff finally published, and then I got a real kick out of my name being on the comic book cover. That was pretty freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I'm not sure what this is. Who is this guy? I'll tell you what. Let's have fun. Let's make him Mr. Hornman or something. El Diablo. Let's give him some cool little Daredevil spot stuff. That's weird. Trying to draw that thing like I know it looks when it's at that angle. Sorry, I must have missed a question there. What's up, Arcaro? What's up? I'm gonna give this guy some wicked eyebrows. As I'm getting older, I'm getting these wicked eyebrows too. Not quite that wicked, but let's give this guy some whiskers here. The Horn Man, you mean he's not the Green Hornet? No. I think he's El Diablo, Beelzebub. Or maybe he's maybe some sort of version of, who was that guy? Burt Reynolds. That's funny. He looks terrible. Now I'm just defiling my own work. This is like tagging over somebody else's tag. I'm just doing it to myself. It's all good. Doctor Strange. Hey, you know what? Let's get rid of these horns. I don't like the horns anymore. I like that Doctor Strange idea. That's cool. Let's make the Master of the Mystic Arts. Again, see how I can just quickly delete, move, shift. I mean, I haven't done enough because, again, I don't have my other hand on the quick keys. But, man, I tell you what, in the digital environment, I can really maneuver and get things moving. I don't have to, it's like when I draw something and I'm not satisfied with it, I can easily adjust. Again, something that is not common unless you're awesome. See? Stupid Apple, or stupid operating system that wrecked my whole world. Now my computer acts like it's not very intelligent. All right, let's see. Maybe give this guy. He looks like the bad guy from Flash Gordon. I don't remember. Ming the Merciless. How did you get your work seen by DC for them to bring you in on a project? Guys, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. I have about 2,000 posts, or over 2,000 posts. So I hustle, man. I hustle, and I try to communicate with people who I think can move and groove. I find editors to follow. I try to get noticed by them, but guys, it's not about just getting noticed. I mean, if your work is strong, it'll be noticed. I just got some cool, interesting new opportunities coming up with someone who found me on Instagram because they were just following the good work. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. Please be honest with yourself. Please be honest with yourself. No one else will do it. Everyone else is going to tell you because they don't want to hurt your feelings, and they're going to tell you what they think you want to hear, and then you're going to be really disappointed when you try to use that information that they misled you with, not intentionally or not maliciously. They were certainly trying to do something nice, but they're going to use that. You're going to be sad when you go to, hey, but such and such said I was good. Well, I'm telling you, as an art director, it's better for you to say, what am I doing wrong, than to get all puffed up because you think you're doing everything right. Yeah, honest opinions are very difficult. And listen, I have difficulty sometimes, but I've always appreciated it when someone was honest with me. And I've had many experiences when I've gone to people. By the way, I don't know anybody else's work here, so I'm not speaking to anyone specifically. I hope you guys know that. But I know that when I'm determining someone's quality, it doesn't mean it's not a personal thing. I'm just trying to decide, can this person fit in my organization? And some people have a bloated self-image, and so they think that their stuff is so great that they should clearly be published. I mean, if you guys think that my work is good, I appreciate it, but it wasn't good enough for a long time for a lot of people. And so, it just goes to show you just got to keep hustling and keep working, knocking it out, look for honest opinions, and if they're not giving it to you, just force them. There's got to be something you can improve all the time. It's got to be. So I guess the short answer to your question is post often, and any venue that's free for you to post, or if you have to pay for it, fine. But there's so many free things between Instagram, Facebook, blah blah blah, Twitter, and then the rest of it is and learn how to tag your stuff, so it will be noticed in that level. But to be honest, if it's not strong, and I think whoever you are out there that needs to know this, if your work isn't strong, don't be surprised if they don't pick you over someone else. Pretty much. Oh, you mean I'm talking about Burt Reynolds is not that good? That's funny, actually. So you see what I started off with is a little bit of construction, or under base or underlying art. I've decided to give this guy something different here. I'm going to beef up my pencil size. Well, I can't really because this is a preset, but I sure can from here. I'm going to try to do some what I think are some Doctor Strange hair shapes. So I'm going to sketch out the hairline. I like to give him the pork chops like in the 70s. Well, you're more than welcome to, if you want me to take a look at something. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a story. This is a cool story. So, it must have been, this is one of my first cons. I was doing something, I think it was in Miami. See, this stupid lag. I don't know what's going on with this. And I met an artist who gave me a critique, and he's a guy I respect a lot. And he asked a very important question. He says, "Do you want me to tell you what you want to hear, or you want to hear the truth?" And that was awesome. And then he said, I continue to say, I want to know the truth because I only want to know the truth because I want to get better. If you don't want to get better, then don't answer that question honestly. Just tell them you want to hear what you want to hear, or answer it honestly the other way. And so it was cool because it gave him the opportunity to speak to my work in the right way. And that changed that little critique. And you wouldn't, I don't know if you guys would know this person at all, but that critique changed my drawing habits forever because he was honest about it, and I got a real response. So I'm only saying that I'm happy to look at anybody's, but I've had the opportunity to talk to people about their work, and they just go upset. It's like American Idol when everybody can't sing, but they swear they can, and then they leave upset because one day they're gonna rue the day that they rejected them off of the show, and they try to sing and they sound terrible. Gosh, can anybody hear themselves? That's weird. Art's different though. I mean, at least drawing is a little different because so much of this is so subjective. You had a cool teacher like that? Was he being honest with you? I hope so. So possibly, right? Yeah, yeah. And listen, you could get a negative critique. Doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. Again, it's all in your attitude. How do you receive that information? Do you take it in as a, that if your heart breaks over the information, and maybe you're not ready. Well, guys, my phone is telling me that I am almost out of juice, so I have to wrap this up soon. So this is kind of cool. This is a sketch. Right on, right on. Good for him. Good for him, and good for you. I mean, that sounds like you had someone who cared enough to tell you the truth, and that's the tough part. Everyone is so busy trying not to hurt your feelings. Actually, it's hurting you because you can't grow just hearing what you want to hear. You can't become better. And I have people like that in my own life. Um, some people take it as criticism if someone's trying to learn. Then help is nice. Well, yeah, and I understand. Listen, there were a lot of times when I didn't understand why a person would say this wasn't good or whatever. Sometimes it's just because it doesn't fit the model. Yeah, it is kind of going Vandal Savage, isn't it? And it doesn't mean that you don't work somewhere else. It just means maybe in that particular environment you don't work. So it's that kind of thing. Just being honest with yourself, being honest with what you're doing, who you're trying to get work from, and because remember, an employer is not looking, or an editor. Thanks for doing this early. It's awesome to hear your thoughts while you work on the inspiration. Cool, man. Right on. Everyone's not interested in making you better. The whole reason why anyone would want to hire you is to make their company better or their organization better. A lot of people go into these interviews and they ask questions like, "Hey, why do you want to work here?" "Oh, because I want to get better and I want to expand and explore." It's almost like you're saying, "I just want to use you to get a better education and move on." And that's actually a little trick. That's the wrong answer. If you want to get a job, don't answer that question that way. Answer the question with humility and a heart of a servant, and you say, I want to bring value to your organization. I want to help you make more money. I want to help you grow. That's when you have someone saying he's not thinking of himself alone. He is, or she has a good attitude. They're here for the greater good, whatever the greater good is in that particular case. So that's my advice, guys. You want a critique, I'll give it to you, but be prepared because it may not be what you want to hear, but that's okay. If you have the right attitude, you don't need to work in some place to get better. You need to be better when you get there. They're expecting you to be better when you show up. So there you go. That's my hard-hitting anger management talk. Anyway, all right. This guy is kind of Vandal Savage-y. I'm gonna give him a little T-shirt. Maybe he's been chilling. Craven? It could be Craven. Wise thoughts. Well, I've made a lot of mistakes. I don't mind saying it is wisdom because it comes from mistakes, and that's really where wisdom comes from. And I've made tons of them. And I think that, some people, again, are not willing to share that. I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't, but I just know that for me, as I was coming up, absolutely, man, just reach out to me. When I was coming up, I had a lot of self, delusional ideas about who I was and how awesome I was. And it's funny, now here I am, years later, I'm probably at the peak of my creative or artistic career, and yet now is when I realize that I don't know anything. So, the young guys would be like, oh, whatever, man, I'm cool. Give me my Periscope and Instagram. But just be humble. Be humble and stay cool about what you do. Don't fall for those traps. All right, guys, what do you guys think? Not a bad little head sketchy thing. Should experienced artists ask for critiques if they know that their work isn't good? Yes, of course. I mean, that's how you're going to learn. If you're keeping your head in the sand, listen, there's also another thing that's terrible in any business is false humility. Don't be falsely humble. Listen, the question is, what can I do better? How can I get better? That's the question. That's the magic question you want to ask, as much as you can. This was cool. How can I make it better? Listen, and art is still very subjective, guys. If one man's junk is another man's treasure. So you can really, there can be things that happen where that client or whatever just doesn't like it for personal reasons, and that has nothing to do with your work. And frankly, for that matter, there shouldn't really be that much of a concern about that, because you're not really there you're just trying to perform a service, whether it's to provide artwork or what have you. Regardless, but if you ask questions like that, like, hey, I appreciate the opportunity, what can I do different? What would you do different? But and be careful, don't ask that, like, if you really want an honest question or a response, be mindful of the person's time too. As an art director, I get to answer questions sometimes, and some people just want to ramble on with stuff, and don't ever show the worst of your work. Please always show the best of your work. That makes the most sense, right? You'd be surprised how many portfolios I've seen where people say, oh, that's a old piece I did, it's not that great. Well, then don't show it. If it's not that great, then don't show it. Don't waste that person's time. Again, it's just professional courtesy and consideration. That's all. Yeah. I would never tell somebody my time, although I have been told that. And you know what? I don't mind it, because I feel like, that was the wake up call I needed. God, I hope I am answering your question. I am rambling, but I tend to. I have my friends at work tell me I talk too much. But that's okay. For the most of them, I'm their boss. They can shut up. Just kidding. Yeah, it's good. Just a fun sketch so we can talk. All right, you guys, be cool. Have a great night. God bless you guys, and watch out.